So, welcome back to the BrainTunes YouTube channel. Today, we are going to see a topic on the protocol layering. Yes, already we have seen about what is a protocol and how it is going to be used in the networks and all these concepts. Okay, so now we are going to see what is a layered protocol. What do we mean by protocol layering? Yes, a protocol, as usually, it defines the rules that both the sender and the receiver and all the intermediate devices need to follow to be able to communicate effectively. So here it means like a protocol is like it is already a well-defined set of rules, procedures where both the sender and the receiver need to follow in order to establish a perfect communication between them. So, for example, say when a communication is very simple, maybe we need only one simple protocol. But again, when the communication becomes more complex, we need to divide that particular task between different layers, in which case we need a protocol at each and every layer. So here, as a whole, in simple line, if we have to define this, it enables us, the protocol layering enables us to divide a more complex task into several simpler tasks. Yes, let us look into a scenario, a simple scenario over here. So let us consider we have two users, that is Maria and Anne. So let us imagine these are the two users. So now what happens over here is the main task of Maria is, if at all, if she wants to talk to Anne, then she has to communicate. She has to do a communication. Now in this case, if you just observe, what will be the task of both Maria and Anne if you just observe? Listen, talk, and listen, talk. So this is going to be a layer one protocol. Let us imagine you have a friend X. Okay, and you are just continuously talking to your friend. In that case, in the other end, your friend will be listening. So here, if your friend talks again, you will be listening. So here, the communication takes place in air. The communication takes place in air. Okay, so if a person is going to listen, the other person is going to talk, and if the other person is going to talk, the other person is going to listen. So this is going to be a single layer protocol, where here it is just an air over there. Now let us consider a three-layer protocol. So what happens in a three-layer protocol over here? If you just observe, the same persons are there. That is, you have Maria and you have Anne. So their basic communication is going to be when one person is going to talk, the other person is going to listen. So this is what is going to happen in the third layer. Now what happens to the layer two? Whatever the communication that is going to be taking place between these two, the entire communication is going to be encrypted. So which means when Maria talks, her communication, whatever she talks, is going to be encrypted at layer 2. And then what happens in layer 1, the layer below, it is just going to send whatever she has spoken. Now, when it comes to the receiver's end, that is to the AND's end, the layer 1 is going to receive the message from the layer 1 of the sender's end. Now, what happens? It is going to send the particular mail to the layer above it. So, here now it is being sent as an encrypted message, which means this message at the layer 2 of the receiver's end, this is going to perform a decryption. So that is the ciphertext is going to be converted into its plain text. And then what happens to the layer 3 over Anne? She is just going to listen, which means whatever the message Maria has sent, it is going to be read or it is going to be listened by Anne. So here what happens? It follows a three-layer protocol. The first layer is listen, encryption, and send mail. Whereas at the receiver end, it is receive mail, decryption, and talk. So if we just observe, they are going to be the identical objects. Each and every layer, logical connection is going to be more identical. So this is a simple scenario for a three-layer protocol. Now we have the advantages. What could be the advantages over here? What could be the advantages? So here it is going to allow us to separate the services from the implementation. So whatever the services are going to be there, they are going to be separated from the implementation part. And all the layer needs to be able to receive a set of services from the lowermost layer to get the services to the uppermost layer without knowing how the layer is going to be implemented. And the third main advantage over here is communication. How does a communication takes place? It is not going to always stop only two ends over here, end systems, but here there are going to be some intermediate systems that need only some layers, but not all the layers. So this is how the communication is going to be established in the case of a layered protocol. So now what could be the principles of your protocol layering over here? The main key principles, the first principle, if you just observe, so here it is going to be, it dictates like if it is going to be a bidirectional communication. If it is going to be a bidirectional communication, then we need to make sure that each able is going to perform the opposite task. So let us imagine a bidirectional communication where the sender is going to talk and the receiver is going to listen. Now, when the receiver is going to talk, the sender is going to listen. So here, this is going to be the basic idea. That is one in each direction. They perform the opposite tasks. The second principle is that we need to follow in the protocol layering is that two objects under each layer at both the sides should be identical. So what is the two objects under each layer? They should be identical over here is, which means it indicates the logical connection. It indicates the logical connection, which means their functionality, that is the functionality of each layer at the two ends should be same. So here layer 3 is going to produce a plain text here as well here. And again here it is going to have a ciphertext at layer 2 over here as well here. Similarly in the layer 1 also. So this is how that is they are going to have the identical objects at both the opposite ends. So this is what the second principle states.